In this post-lab reflection, I will be discussing my safety preparations, my thoughts on safety throughout this course, and my experimental design. So let's start off by discussing my work area. My work area is on top of a wooden table, and I have some flame retardant materials that I will be performing my experiments on. I have my latex gloves that I will be using. I have my trash and sink location close by for disposal of any materials. My shower is also close by. Now my fire extinguisher is outside of my door, but my smoke detector is right next to me, which is one of the reasons why I chose the area to work on. My storage location will only be accessible to me, and that is where I will be putting my lab materials high up, so they cannot be reached by anybody else but me. My emergency exits are down the hall, straight ahead, and to my left. Now my spill control response, I have paper towels, I have a dustpan, and I have a broom. I will be showing a video walkthrough of my work area and my emergency exit location, along with my end area where I will be at. I want to add that these experiments will be done during the day so that I have the most visible light possible. The clothing that I will be using will be closed-toed shoes. I will also be using an apron to protect myself, or a Tyvek suit depending on the experiment. Now let's test the smoke detector. I first started thinking about safety as I was reading the experiments that were going to be done, especially when I found out that we were actually going to be using a flame and different materials to get different reactions from them. One of the things that I did not expect as far as my safety preparations was, I guess, storage. Storage was something that I didn't realize I had to take into consideration, especially needing it to be a safe storage where these chemicals weren't going to react, where nobody was going to be able to reach them, where nobody was going to be able to touch them, that I would be the only one who would be able to access them. Now, my confidence level as far as safety goes after my preparations, I would say it's a 10 out of 10. After walking through my actual emergency exit, knowing the numbers that I would have to call, I'm 100% confident that everything's going to run smoothly should anything occur. And of course, over preparation is the best preparation, so I got as many materials as I can get. The gloves, of course, were always needed, but things like a Tyvek suit, that seems to be a little much, but again, I don't want any of these chemicals or anything getting on my skin. Knowing that should something get into my eye, being able to just run into the sink and start putting water in my eyes. It's little things like that that I really didn't take into consideration. Being able to wash out my eyes and wash my skin out, wash away all the chemicals that may have gotten onto my skin, and even disposal of these materials and my clothes should it get on my clothes. For my experimental design, I chose to talk about lead. Now, the reason being is because it is so harmful to the human body, and even worse in children. If children ingest it, their development would be seriously harmed. Now, where did I find the information? I went into a government website in order to learn more about the harmful effects of lead when ingested, and how to test for lead in different different things like water, paint, and so on. Now, my hypothesis is if people working in their garden use lead tools with containing lead, that lead will come up in the soil. It would contaminate their garden, and this is a very serious problem, given that the contamination would make it into their vegetation, their vegetables, anything that they grow and they plan on ingesting would be contaminated with lead. So how strong do I think my hypothesis is? I'm fairly confident that it is a strong hypothesis, though one of the things that I question is, would we find lead in the soil if there's no abrasion to the tools? Though you will find things like rocks in a garden, of course depending on the garden, but I am fairly confident that you will find contamination of lead if you use lead tools in soil. The most challenging variable is getting the soil sample, being able to choose the right area to collect soil samples, and I have fixed this problem by getting different samples from different areas in the garden where tools have been used. In summary, I want to say this has been a good learning opportunity for me, this giving the first kind of experiments in our class, making a mock experimental design and making preparations for safety. Looking forward to learning more throughout this class. Thank you.